Hello, my wonderful people. Good morning. It's your boy Onyx, or good afternoon, or good night, wherever time you watch this. But, anyways, let me get started. So, I want to first talk about fighting games. As you guys know, I mainly play fighting games. My dad brought me up on fighting games. I love fighting games even to this day. I don't play as much anymore because I like to explore other games. Plus, being a middle-aged man, well, in my late 30s, right? I'm saying middle age like I'm the quick keeper already, like I'm a 55 turning 60. But anyways, just because I'm busy a lot and like to do other things besides playing fighting games, I don't play them as much. And also to mention, as I mentioned before in the past, that when I do upload my Tekken stuff, they don't get the same amount of views they used to get. Like during my Tekken 7 days, I feel like I got pretty decent views. My Tekken 8 days, not really. In the beginning, when the game was fresh, when people didn't hate the game, my views were pretty decent. But nowadays, it's kind of like, I just upload it because I still like playing the game. And plus, I like to keep the variety on my channel. But now let me get to my point. I noticed this trend, whether it's Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Tekken 8, or whatever. It seems to me, I'm not saying people are supposed to just glaze things or just give things endless praise when there's clearly issues, but I feel like there's more complaints about fighting games than they are like, oh, thank you. And I feel like the complaints just supersede the people who actually enjoy the game. Now I know for Tekken has a tracking issue. Certain characters have crazy moves. People hate how the heat system works. I get that, but when I play Tekken 8, I get annoyed. I do trust to this day like I can't stand this fucking game. But for the most part, I'm like, you know what? I'm really enjoying myself. Winning or even when I lose sometimes. Only time I hate when I lose, it's when I'm like dealing with a laggy opponent. But if I choose to rematch them, I'm just as guilty. So that's that. But overall, I enjoy Tekken 8. I like how Nina plays as well, and I think I'm only concerned, and I'm saying this as a Nina main. This is me being biased. When Nina does get nerfed, I still hope her combo work properly. I just hope maybe like heat stuff is toned down, or maybe she's not as advantageous on certain things. But I don't want Nina nerfed because honestly, despite the fact I feel like Tekken 8 is the most fun I ever play at playing with Nina. It's not because of my streak. Don't care. Nina she is just so phenomenal. And I still remember the days where like, oh, I'm not playing Nina. She was so ass in Tekken 7. I think I'm gonna be a Victor main. Boy, was I stupid. Because Nina is just so fun in this game. Honestly, hope this is how Nina is until the day I no longer exist on this earth. Because I'm not gonna be here forever. I'm not immortal, unfortunately. Well, being immortal does come with pros and cons. Cause imagine having to pay rent at 1,000 years old. My God. But I feel like, people always point out the things they hate about fighting games, but they don't talk about the things they love more. Like for me, I could say, okay, I hate like the jank. I'm sorry, multitask. I'm also doing some stuff on Canva to get a new video uploaded. Yep, I uploaded the same video twice. I'll delete one. Um, I'm not saying, don't talk about the things that are issues. If there's issues, discuss them. But I feel like some of the issues is I suck. I try to get my ass kicked. Nerf everything. Okay, so your thing isn't like certain moves or just a little bit rambunctious. You just suck or not as skilled as you like to be. So instead of you trying to work on your skills, you want to keep complaining about the game, hoping it changes in your favor. And I understand we're all different, rather casuals or pros. And when it comes to like the whole pros, while I do think pros' opinions and viewpoints on video games should be respected because they play at a professional level and at the highest skill ceiling you could play the game in. I also don't think no fighting game should be just for pros only. The same way you don't make a fighting game just for casuals. Because I feel like if you make a fighting game so dumbed down, the pros don't feel like their skills are being utilized correctly because everything is so watered down. But you don't make the game where the casuals can't enjoy either. And I consider myself like the ultimate casual because I don't play a fighting game. I don't play a fighting game to prove anything. Oh, my friend texts me back. I'll answer her when I'm done recording. Um, I don't play a fighting game to, be the best. I don't want to enter no one's tournament. I don't need no accolades. As long as I have fun, that's all I care about. But I feel like the fighting game genre is so hard to please people nowadays. I feel like it got harder to please people. Now I know people are very self-absorbed, egotistical, think the world revolves around them. It does not. But at the same time, I do think fighting developers do make the mistake of not really listening to their core audience and they do random stuff. Because I know Tekken 8 has been making a lot of missteps, especially in the social media department. And I know a lot of people are really unhappy that we're waiting to season 3 begins to get a real balance patch. I don't think no game should ever do that. Honestly, I think that's the last time Bandai Namco should use the excuse. We're waiting for the tournament season to be over. When season 3 starts, we'll do a balance patch. I think they should have done a balance patch after Evo, quite honestly. Or the time Armor Key drops, there should have been a significant balance patch. Not just little buff fixes here and there. A significant balance patch. I feel like, you can't be scared to balance the game. And I'm a firm believer. Tech 8 needs to play like Tech 8. Tech 8 should not play like no Tech 7. So he stays in. You keep in the order, heat smash, all that stuff. But you configure it in a way where it's not as oppressive. There's pros and cons of using it. Because like the big issue I know people have with heat is it's a free tool. You get heat every round. You don't have to work for it. You always have it. I mean, you don't always have, like, once you pop it, you got to use it for X amount of seconds. Otherwise, you do lose it. But the fact that you get it every round without having to work for it turns a lot of people off. Now, my thing to begin, I'm like, you know what? When you pop heat, you have to re-earn it. But like, no. What I think heat should do, and there was this recent video Moonsault Slayer popped up, posted on his channel of this person who was like using Steve. Let's say Steve's initial heat smash attack was sidestepped. The rest of the attack would end. I think the biggest problem with heat smash, even the move is ripped, not blocked. Because when it's blocked, I feel like the whole animation should play. It's just blocked. You just don't go for the whole little cinematic. But when you whiff a heat smash, if the first move is whiffed, the rest of the animation stops. Because let's say you're trying to punish someone for doing a heat smash, but because they're flying through the whole damn screen, you can't punish them properly, and that sucks. So I do think they need to change how heat smashes work. If the first animation is whiffed, sidestepped, the rest of it ends. Now it's just blocked. It does the full animation. You just get the block version where you high keep a few plus frames, but you're not super advantageous where your opponent can't respond. And of course, when it lands, it does its full normal damage, floor breaks, etc. But I really don't want Tekken 8 to be turned just like Tekken 7 2.0. I want Tekken 8 to still play like Tekken 8. But I hope Hawada Nakatsu, Michael Murray, and them do start tackling the bigger issues so more people can enjoy it. Because honestly, regardless of whatever patches they do, there's always going to be someone complaining. There's always going to be someone unhappy. But I think they get more people to enjoy the game than less people enjoying it, is the better. Now with Street Fighter 6, now I don't play much Street Fighter 6 because I suck at the game. Clearly, I do. I'm really bad at Street Fighter 6, but I do like the game and I don't regret buying it. Especially now that I got back into playing World Tour, I've been really enjoying World Tour a lot. Especially with my good controller that I didn't beat up because I'm not raging because I'm getting my ass kicked online. I know a lot of people don't like the drive rush system, and I can't speak on that too much, but I feel like drive rush is kind of a way to express like combo expression, and it's a way to help you get in. But know a lot of Street Fighter players complain about drive rush. They say like it's such a boo. I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. Such a goo goo gaga mechanic. But in my head, I'm like, I feel like drive rush. If you try to abuse it, you're going to burn out fast, and it's the way to help your character get in better. Especially your character has a hard time normally getting in, like a Zangief or a Lily, something like that. So I don't know why so many Street Fighter players seem like they have this disdain for Drive Rush. And if someone wants to explain it to me in the comments, I'm more than happy to listen because that's something I'm not fully, you know, invested into understanding. I don't have the full grasp of why it's so hated. I just see it's just been like, oh my god, I hate Drive Rush. I hate Drive Rush. Da 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 da. And it's like considered like a brain dead mechanic. So I'm like, but so many people love playing Street Fighter compared to Tekken 8. Tekken 8, it shows the amount of disdain that people have for the game. But Street Fighter, people are playing it like crazy. So like, is it just like a small minority that's have a problem with Dry Rush? But it seems like to be a big issue in the overall Street Fighter circle. Now, lastly, Mortal Kombat 1. I recently discovered while I was watching KHD's latest video with Tanya that you could play with no cameo in Mortal Kombat 1 now. Like, you could just play your character, no cameo. Yes, you still have to select the cameo in the sense that, for throws and for fatal blows, but the cameo does not assist you throughout the rest of the fight. And I'm like, they finally did add it where you could play without a cameo, and I think that's so cool. And I'm kind of thinking about now there's no cameos involved. I ain't considering getting into MK1. I know I'm going to get into super duper late, but I was very unhappy with the game. I didn't like the direction the game went. But the fact that you can play without cameos does have me kind of want to give a game a second look. But I also, for the time I jump into it, it's going to be dead online, especially since I play it on the Xbox Series S. That's why I would purchase it for, because you can't get MK1 on PS4, obviously. And I don't have a PS5 at this time of the recording. But I do hope with MK, especially with the disastrous MK collection, I don't know why. Ever since Warner Brothers and NetherRealm got together after MKX, it really went downhill. It really went downhill between Warner Brothers and NetherRealm Studios. Mortal Kombat has truly fallen from grace, and it sucks because it used to be one of the coolest franchises to ever exist. Now, to me, it just has iconic characters, but the franchise itself feels like dog shit. It really does, and I'm sad about that because I truly do love Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat is awesome, especially in terms of lore. This is pre time resets. I'm talking about the midway lore. I don't care for the modern MK lore because to me it just combobulated BS. But the older MK, like the midway days, I love the storytelling so much in the midway days. And I understand, you can't always stay stuck in the past, but I do wish MK kept some things in check, some things intact, because nowadays I feel like it's like, just a bunch of silly ideas thrown all over the place by Mortal Kombat. But I really hope MK12, if they decide to stick with this new Liu Kang timeline, comes out perfect. Great roster, great offline modes, good gameplay. One thing I do hope they keep in Mortal Kombat 12 though is the air combos. I would like them to keep that in Mortal Kombat 12. Personally, I thought that was so cool that MK11 had, not MK11, MK1 had that. But no more cameos and no more that whole the whole chaos realm thing. What not? I don't know that name of that mode that people have disdain for. It's that mode where kind of like you like moving your character like a chess piece into like different places, and you gotta fight these giant bosses. I forgot the name of it, and I don't feel like looking it up right now. But I hope they bring back Crypt, and Crypt be like MK11, like an improved version of MK11's Crypt. That was pretty fun. When we do get a new Mortal Kombat game, when that does happen. And last thing I want to talk about Dead Alive real quick. Since the unfortunate passing Itagaki, rest in peace to Itagaki. I do feel bad that he's no longer with us. May he be resting well in the next life, regardless how you feel about religion and stuff. I would say heaven for me, but some people may not say heaven. Maybe he did not believe in heaven, so I'm just don't want to overspeak for the gentleman. But there's been a lot of interest to bring my Dead Alive. There's even a video I shared on my community post recently by Shred Gaming, I believe his name is. He spoke about what made Dead Alive 6 awful, and I absolutely agree with him 1000%. Thing is, when Dead Alive 7 comes back, we get a new Dead Alive game because I hope they don't reboot the series. Just give us Dead Alive 7. You don't got to reboot the entire series. I don't think so. Dead Alive 6 being horrendous doesn't mean everything before it was horrendous because it was not. Um, don't be afraid to make the girl sexy, and this is coming from my gay ass. Don't be afraid to make the girl sexy. Nothing more than that. If someone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, they look like porn stars," let them have it. They're not gonna buy the game anyways. Don't make the afraid of girls to be sexy. The gameplay goes back to similar to like a Dead Eye 4, Dead Eye 5. While I understand you want to add new mechanics to make the game feel fresh, don't add in mechanics that makes the whole core gameplay of Dead Alive go into the crapper. And have actual good costumes. Don't do it the way you did it before. And I think they keep the hair color change, but it is free. Do not charge people for changing the character's hair color. Be so fucking for real. Don't do that ever again. And I hope they keep the encyclopedia. I did enjoy reading about the encyclopedia in Dead Alive 6 as one of my favorite features. Bring back tag. Don't do the whole big story mode. Allow for each character to have their own unique story ending by playing arcade mode. Do not do that whole You play Miller here, then you play Bass here, then you play Hayabusa here. Don't do that. That person pick one character, they go through story mode, they fight their final boss. Pray that the final boss isn't a cheesy piece of shit like Alpha 152 and Deadeye 4. But that's something we'll worry about in the future. Let's let the game be made first. And you just play the character that way. Cause what Deadeye 6 did, and what a lot of fighting games are doing nowadays, like Tekken, Mortal Kombat, I don't like that. Let me just pick one character I'm actually interested to play at that time, go through their arcade ladder, get their cinematic movie ending, voila. That's it. Cause I don't know why you gotta do this whole branch storyline crap. That shit is stupid to me. It really is. So that's just my thoughts on current fighting game stuff, and like do hope that as time goes on, communication between the developers and the fans are better. I hope fans start being less naggy and nitpicky, and hopefully in due time the community can have a better communication on what they want in the game. Even though not everyone's ever going to agree on one thing all the time. We're all human. We all have our own thoughts and opinions, so we're all gonna have different viewpoints. What's good and what's bad. But I do hope as time progresses, things do become much better for fighting games, especially Tekken 8 Season 3. I hope Season 3 comes out really good. I hope when Miari does drop, excuse me, sometime next month, that she has a real good reception. She's not the broken character people think she's gonna be. She's just a really fun character, well balanced, not weak, but not overpowered. And we'll see what happens next. But I just don't like the fact that I feel like nowadays nagging, complaining just seems to run rampant on the internet. Anyways, that's all I want to talk about for now in terms of fighting games. I love you guys to the moon and back. Thanks for supporting me. Peace, take care, honest, play out. Love you, ciao.